What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we have none other than the community voted deck profile they wanted to see, none other than Magnamon X-Antibody. So definitely we're going to be taking a look at this deck, and hopefully it lives up to par what you guys are expecting. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about it. So let's break the beautiful eggs down, shall we? First off, we are playing none other than 4 of this beautiful Upamon right here. So first off, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards in play, trigger draw 1. So with the format how it is, a lot of people are using Searcher Digimon, stuff like that, that'll gain them some draw advantage that some way, somehow will get to their combo pieces. Well, if they can't climb up after hard playing it, we could punish them with the Upamon and at least get some draw off of that. Sadly, there is really no armor best version for this deck for Digitama. So even then, we also do have a backup DemiVeemon, just in case we get into none other than our beautiful jamming Veemon. So outside of that, there's just really nothing too crazy. The Digitama is what the Digitama is. I think that's really all we have for now until they give us something more for the armor deck. Outside of that, that's what we're going to be using. Next, let's go over the rookies. First off, we are playing none other than 4 Jamming Veemon, because Jamming Veemon is just really powerful by himself. And especially if we armor purge and we have Fire Rocket underneath it with the extra security check, he's swinging in after the armor purge with an extra check, which definitely does help out because he's going to survive. There's only a way of killing him is options, and a little bit of that is with the self-protection that he has. So really good to have Jamming Veemon. And then a deck wouldn't be a deck without having our Veemon that can search out 2 colors, which is really good because out of the other one, yes, the other one searches for free. I feel like having a full playset of this one really does advantage out better, because being able to add any 2-color blue card among them to your hand, especially if you needed Davis and Ken, really does go the extra mile in this list. So I feel like having 4 of this bad boy is really going to get you where you need to go. So definitely have that. Next, we are going to have none other than the beautiful 2 of the starter deck 9 Veemons that reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with free and a trade among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. I like it because it's another searcher, and we kind of need as much searching power as we can, and everything Veemon related is a free type. The only card that we won't hit is Kimeramon, and then any Tamers. So that kind of, or options. So that's kind of where we stand there. Next, we are playing starter deck 8's Veemon here. It's not because of the warp ability. We're here for the when attacking. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1. This helps us out immensely. Just so much advantage. You want to have draw when you can, and I might bump him up with more testing, but I feel confident enough him at 2 is just the right starting point. Next, we do have Veemon. This Veemon here is from EX1. This Veemon is really powerful because when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, gain 1 memory. This helps you extend plays by himself, and that is really good all in all. I want to be able to extend my plays and combo out per game. That's just how this game is going to play out. So this is kind of the rookie package. I think this is a solid number lineup, and I think we can work with it heavily. Next, let's dive into the champions after this. Next, we have 4 Lighdramon. Ligdramon's really good. Yes, some people might say you could go the Lobomon package, but I haven't tested out the Lobomon package in this list to justify that. But Armor Purge is really good because he's also Digivolves for 2 on Veemon. Another fun little fact is that with this, you do have to do the Digivolve on Veemon for 2. But there is a card in the deck where you don't have to do the black text. You can do the blue evolution text. So that sometimes does come up, and it comes very important later. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. That really does help out. Just sometimes to get rid of threats off the board is really good. I mean, rest it, swing into it, get it off the board. Sometimes that slows down the climb, and it punishes your opponent a little bit because sometimes they just needed that card to OTK you the next turn, and they didn't hatch anything in raising. Well, now it's gone out of the play. So that is another big thing about it. Next, we do have 4 Flamedramon. Flamedramon is our powerhouse swinger. So when attacking, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP for the turn, can Digivolve for 2 costs for Veemon, and it also has Armor Purge. So basically, when it dies, you get to go to the rookie and keep your rookie on board. Rookie Rush variants are always fun, isn't it? Major things about it is that extra DP does apply a great amount of pressure. I really do think this is a good way of going about it. 4/4, very solid. And then we do play the final piece of the puzzle, and that is our Magnamon Magnamon itself. We do play a Magnamon X-Antibody. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we also have, so what I mentioned before, because he can Digivolve on top of the Veemon for 4 or 3. Sometimes you might want to just choke your opponent to 1, and it's just better to do the 4 cost. Sometimes you can extend your plays, and you can just get to the 3. He gains blocker. Being able to unsuspend himself really does help out, but also for every armor form we have, we are gaining more power. And what's nasty about this is that if we go on to Magnamon X afterwards, this is going to be really important. The thing is that power boost on top of it gives into Magnamon X. So after they kill Magnamon X and he does his whole shebang of pretty much putting himself on the top and then armor purging to this, you still have a blocker with really high power. Sometimes that's all you need. Blockers are really important, especially in an OTK format where you just need to be higher than your opponent, and it's just going to make a lot of sense. But we are playing this. And then last but not least, we are playing 1 Lobomon. So the reason for this is very simple. We want to be able to swing for game. I mean, if we combo outright, we can instantly just close out the game, and then your opponent has nothing left to do. Just sometimes that 1 hybrid for game is that closer we needed, and that's all we're going to use it for. So, not bad for the champion lineups. If you have any more questions, let me know. Ultimate line, we are playing 2 Kimeramon. You could play Shikuyamon, but that's up to you. It really depends. But Kimeramon at least will allow your Magnamon in trash to get back underneath your stack. So when you go into Magnamon X-Antibody, you still have his effect. So that's really important. So, you know, it also minuses DP. We can get easily to 4 colors with Jogressing, and it's just all in all great stuff. And he's just a very powerful swinger. So it's just something to think about. Kimeramon's just here to stay, and this is the only level 5 we play. And it's at 2. Not bad at all, if I gotta say. Next, we are playing 3 of our beautiful Magnamon X-Antibody. So it is a 3 cost to evolve on top of a level 3, but it also Digivolves for 4 on top of a Magnamon. But your opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, if you have Armor Form in its trait or X-Antibody Digievolutions, you may switch the target, the attack, to this Digimon. That when this Digimon would be deleted, you may place the top card of this Digimon to the top of your security stack, face down, to prevent the deletion, which really does help out in extreme cases. Outside of that, nothing too crazy. I mean, that's all you need. And I feel like this is very powerful. And what's really awesome is it just needs 1 armor form. You don't need Magnamon exactly, which is really nice because it fixes the issue. You have vast variety of pieces that you can always gain to redirect the attack. And then, you know, being able to, you know, beautifully go down 1 security. I mean, hey, basically armor purge, and you're back into your stack anyway. So, something to think about. Next, we are playing for Davis and Ken. Start of main phase. If you have a blue Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If you have a green Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. Very simple, easy to get off. And then when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with 2 or more colors, you may suspend this tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. So as long as it's 2 or more colors, we're going to be able to get multiple swings in, and it's pretty much free for that multi-attacking. Really useful. Next, we do have Davis as well as our other tamer. So what we're doing with it is basically start of your turn. If you have 2 or less memories, set your memory to 3. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So basically our searcher, and I think a solid 6 tamers is really useful. Next, let's go into options. And this option lineup is I choose War. Today, I want to make sure my opponent can't do jack diddly squat. What's very important is 5 costs, so suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. Being able to bounce and remove threats off is very important this format, especially against, you have Weregarurumon X-Antibody, Metal Garurumon X-Antibody, Alphamon X-Antibody. You just want to be able to protect and get it off the board. Really is very useful, especially since it is a 5 cost. It can easily just get rid of threats. Next, we do play 3 Fire Rocket, because if you open this in your hand, you go the nuts, and one of your Digimon with 2 or more colors gain security +1. And what's really nice is your armor forms aren't restricted. So, as long as you have an armor form in any way, capacity, you can use this as long as they're 2 color. Really useful, very powerful. Next, we are playing none other than 2 memory boosts. Just because, add 1 blue Digimon card from among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Then place this card into the battle area. Gain 2 memory. Really solid. The delay is useful. It extends our plays. And, with no Hammer Sparks, I really think it's just better not to play Hammer Sparks this format. Ice Wall. This is basically, if you ever get to the situation when you just need to choke your opponent, this is your 1 cost option that instantly just says, hey, we're going to choke you. But also, all your opponent's Digimon gain when attacking, lose 2 memory until the end of their next turn. Really important. That just gives us another turn to buy in. And sometimes when they're trying to OTK you, especially against Weregarurumon and Alphamon, that's now 4 memory they have to account for if they're going to try to push you for more. And then Awakening of the Golden Knight. So the reason for this is basically if you have armor 4 restraints, you may use this without meeting its color requirements. But you may digivolve one of your Digimon in armor forms in its traits into a Digimon card with Magnamon in its name in your hand, ignoring its Digi-Evolution requirements without paying its memory cost. Then the Digimon that is digivolved with this effect cannot have its DP reduced by your opponent's effect until your opponent's end phase. So, really nice, but also security. Return 1 Magnamon in its name from your trash to your hand. Add this card to your hand. Basically guaranteeing you can warp into things. I feel like this is a great solid lineup, and being able to prevent minusing DP effects is really great this format. But we're going to have to see what happens, because I think Mass Day is going to be a little more prevalent because of Digimon is being pushed more. People are saying we're going to see more of that. But we also have security control, which is running minusing DP, so you're going to need to get through that. And there's other decks as well. I don't know where Yellow Hybrid is going to land, but you could definitely see a resurgence in that. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!